Hello everyone and welcome. It's the 2024 US Open and what a show we have in store. This could go down as the greatest PBA telecast of all time because look at this lineup. Bill O'Neill, EJ Tackett, Troup, Jason Belmonte and Anthony Simonsen. This is absolutely insane. I don't think we've seen a lineup like this probably going back to the 90s. It's just going to be absolutely wild. And if this lives up to the hype, every single match could just be an absolute classic. And for me, I really cannot call a winner on this one. I just think every single player on this telecast has got just a huge chance to take this one down. It could go either way. I just really hope that it lives up to the hype. So just like my previous video where I broke down the entire telecast, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to go match by match and break every single match down. I haven't yet watched this, so I don't know the results of any of the matches. I don't know who's won, so this is going to be like a fresh perspective where I break it down as we go. And you guys seem to like it when I did it for the last tournament, so I thought I've got to do it for this one because this could be absolutely insane. So really looking forward to this one, and let's start with match number one. Okay, so here we go. I really cannot wait for this one. Match number one, Bill O'Neill versus EJ Tackett, and we see O'Neill making back-to-back shows in majors after he won the Players' Championship just a couple of weeks ago, looking to make it back-to-back majors. Not a very easy feat, especially in today's game. But he starts off with a strike there. But if he's going to win back-to-back majors, he's got it all to do, because not only has he got to beat this man, who's quite possibly the best bowler in the game right now, he's got to get through so many players. You know, he's got to get through Troup, Belmonte, and Anthony Simonsen. So, not a very easy task, but let's just focus with match one now. EJ Tackett there, getting a very good break in the first frame, avoiding the 7-10.
US Open tournament, as always, 56 games.
So just the 10 pin to deal with.
And not just the physical stress, which I think everybody knows.
Which he takes care of. And it'll be interesting to see how EJ comes out and plays in this one. But I've just got the feeling this could be potentially one of these telecasts where it's the person in this first match who actually goes on to win.
Which is what I believed he used last year.
Because I think you're going to build momentum. And it's always hard for, especially the one seed, to come in cold and perform. And if one of these guys, O'Neill or Tackett, gets going, I think they're going to be hard to stop.
As of December 13th. And so a slightly different person, but it's still an incredible bowler.
So a bit of a mediocre start, bit of a slow start for EJ. Didn't really like that one, as you can see, and goes through the nose. 3-6-10 to deal with here.
Basically a printout of every shot they throw.
Got to be careful there. You've got to get that 3-6 pocket.
Oh dear, not the best start there. Look, that looked a chop straight off his hand, to be honest.
First time he has missed that particular spare this week.
And what was the message in interviewing all five players? What did they all say? You cannot afford any errors to win this event.
No. You have to attack. They all talked about playing.
So,
defense,
obviously, the US Open pattern, very unforgiving.
Early break here for Bill.
Mistakes like that don't help for sure. Especially when the opponent's starting like that with a double, looking nicely lined up. But the only good thing about this pattern is, okay, you know you've got to make your spares. You know it's a tough pattern. And if you do have an open frame, well, there is a chance your opponent will throw one as well, because it is a tough pattern. And when it starts to break down and play a little bit harder, it really comes down to the finest margins. And normally it comes down to whoever can keep clean frames, essentially. That's normally how it goes.
As we take a look at,
but this is O'Neill's Arsenal. Interesting, he doesn't have the Widow 3.0.
And a front three is what he's going with as well. So O'Neal
Wow, what a start from O'Neal.
making EJ Tackett pay early for
I was going to say he's
the
picking up
mistake.
from where he left off a couple of weeks ago on the last telecast, but to be honest, he didn't really do anything spectacular in that show. He was just kind of rolling along and yeah, just really took advantage of his opponents who made mistakes and just showed up at the right time, but he didn't blow by everyone. But here he looks a completely different animal at the moment. I mean, he looks really, really lined up. But that's confidence, right? I mean, he's come out, he's won a major. You can't really get any more sort of confident than that about your game. So he's got a real chance today. But EJ, again, doesn't really look like he's got much of a shot. Is he the same spare here? But he does spare it this time.
What are we playing on here?
Well, it's pattern number 4. Remember, 4 oil patterns used throughout this event. This is 41 feet in length, the exact
So this is the pattern they're using.
we used last year. And it's interesting.
And they use 4 different patterns, as Randy's explaining at the moment, throughout the week, and this is the 4th one. But to be honest, whatever pattern it was out of the 4, they're all hard. As you can see by the scores, were generally pretty low. Yeah, that was a much better shot from EJ. Just got that in the right place.
But this looks perfect out of his hand. Pound for pound.
Yeah, a much better shot.
Strike ball out on the PBA tour from a player that uses his thumb. He's quite an athlete. You should see him hit a golf ball.
So can O'Neal
Pretty impressive.
continue? He's working on the front 3. And it's just such a nice shot. It's fantastic when you see players like on the US Open telecast that when they get lined up and they just make it look easy. They make it look like they're playing on a house shot. And I remember Norm Duke always used to be like that. You used to see him in the US Open and these tough patterns, and he just made it look so easy. And when he got lined up, it was ridiculous. And O'Neal's looking really, really good right now. So already a 44 pin lead.
It's hard to do that.
Very much so.
5 for 5.
Wow. Got a little bit of room as well by the looks of it. That was just a pinch inside, I think. So that's always nice. It's still a good shot, but he's just got that tiny little bit of room.
Talked to us earlier about how keeping his hands soft was key.
Did go a little bit high, but
Allows his ball to get through the front part of the lane
the front 5, I mean,
and then react down lane.
watch out for O'Neal.
Looking for his 5th major.
Yeah, good shot from EJ. I mean, this is all he can do at the moment now. Just try and string a few, put that little bit of pressure on O'Neal if he can, and just let him know that, you know, I am here. But as I say, I mean, if I had to pick, I think it's either going to be the 1 seed or one of these guys. It's probably looking at this O'Neal right now with how he looks lined up. I just think it's that kind of show for some reason. I think that Anthony Simonsen is so good on TV, and when he comes in as the 1 seed, he does have a disadvantage, but he just seems to get it done in the majors. But, you know, you can't count out the other 2 as well, because they're more than capable. You're looking at Jason Belmonte, who, you know, the most majors of all time, so you can't count him out. But I just feel it's either going to be, at this point, probably one of these guys or Simonsen, but we'll see. So, the real deal, Bid O'Neal, off to a great start. But EJ, he's hanging in there and trying to make a fight of it. We'll come back after this break.
We've talked about this a million times. The hardest shot in bowling is the one.
And we are back in the second half of this match. And already this is living up to the hype, I have to say, with O'Neal just looking absolutely dialed in. Front 5, looking to make it 6, and he does. What a shot out of the commercial break. No worries. No worries. Making it like an absolute house shot. But this is another really, really great shot. And I just think he looks really, really focused right now.
And these are all flush shots, too. There's no cheapies, there's no messengers, there's no anything. This is absolutely dead solid perfect so far.
I know it sounds silly. He's got the front six, but he does need to keep striking. This is a key shot. I mean, he doesn't want to give EJ a sniff. Wow.
And here, look at your numbers now. Position at the arrows.
Yeah, didn't like that one off his hand. Way, way right. And you know what I just said about not giving EJ a sniff? Well, yeah, he didn't want to do that.
Let's take a look at his release.
Because an open frame here and suddenly we do have a match. But this is what I said right from the start. This pattern, it's one shot. And, you know, EJ missed in the was it second frame?
Wow, that's really going to hurt.
Oh, wow.
You'd think he'd at least get 3 there. But instead, that's going to be...
Wow. Bad count. So 21 pin lead now for O'Neal.
Because it's an open plus he loses count.
So interestingly, if you look at the max scores, you've got O'Neal at 257, Tackett 256. So O'Neal can still win and shut EJ out by striking out. But now EJ looking to cut the deficit to 11, which he does. And you can't give this man an inch. This is the classic thing of when you have, say, a rookie. I'm not saying Bill O'Neal is a rookie, but you have a young, inexperienced guy who's got a big lead against an opponent like EJ, and you can't give them any opportunities because they will jump on you. So now we have a big shot coming up because this will bring the lead down to 1. But as I said at the start, EJ had an open frame, but open frames are so common on this pattern, on this telecast. We see it every year. That even if you do have an open, okay, it's not ideal, but chances are your opponent will probably have one as well. Just because of how little room for error you have, and as you saw on O'Neal's shot, just way right and had absolutely no chance. Tackett. Oh, that looked pretty good. I think he quite liked that that one off his hand, but
I thought he grabbed this one a little bit as well, and that caused the ball to check and overhook. The good news is he just left the 4-pin, but it's all O'Neal now. Nothing.
Well, he takes the spare. I mean, it wasn't his best shot, but it wasn't too bad. But, you know, on this pattern, any little mistake in terms of the release, you're going to see, you know, you're not going to get away with it, basically. So a little bit of a help there for O'Neal, who does still have a 12-pin lead, but needs to bounce back in the 8th. 2 really, really big frames now. Oh, wow, what a break. I mean, you can see there, he went that little bit more inside because of the previous shot where he missed right and looked like he was just going to go high and leave a 4. Could have even left the 4-9, but tripped it out.
Right-hander's best break, I think, is that trip 4. See the 9-pin fall late.
Yeah, trip 4-9 there, but...
What a strange-looking scorecard for Bill with that 5-1 just sitting there.
Yeah. No spares, just the 5-1 miss.
So a double here. 22 pins will be the lead. Oh, again. Wow.
Same leave on that lane.
What the hell was that, man?
The left lane was troubled yesterday in the PBA Elite.
Wow, he's done it again. I can't believe he's done that again. That was identical.
Couple of different ways to shoot this. You can try to slide the head pin over into the 610 or right side of the head pin.
Well, he's got to make this, I feel.
Unbelievable.
How is that possible?
Oh.
2 times when he does miss.
So if anyone's wondering if that was a replay, it wasn't. He just threw the same shot and did the same thing on the spare. I'm very surprised he went that way.
chops the head pin back again.
After doing that, I wouldn't have done that way personally. I probably would have tried to go the other way and tried to go for the Brooklyn shot almost. Very surprised he attacked it like that.
Well, that one he lofted. So
But another 4-pin for EJ, and now this is getting tight now. This is... Alright, EJ's got a 5-pin lead, but...
Check this out. There's the airtime.
But this is close. I don't think EJ... No, EJ can't shut O'Neal out.
Not even he's that good.
I think EJ's max was 214. Oh, no, he can. 224, sorry. So a double here. And a good count.
Struck, and then 9 spare.
He needs a double and 6 to lock.
I just can't believe O'Neal has done that back to back. And he just seemed to attack the spare in the same way. And
The good news is Bill doesn't have to bowl in the left lane again.
But is his frame going to matter?
This is still really close to call, to be honest.
Now there's one for EJ.
Wow, great shot.
Gorgeous shot under pressure, and he put that one in the air a little bit too.
Yeah, that one was aggressive. That had a little aggression.
And I don't want to jinx him, but he's just so clutch. He just seems to find the shots when he needs to. Just
I think that would have been his hardest shot of the day so far.
after the back-to-back 4 pins, that was a really, really, really nice shot there. That's flush.
One more, and Tackett
But he
in a
needs
really
one
good
more
position.
to advance.
He's not in a very good position.
Wow.
Holy smokes. These misses are disasters.
That's 4 through the middle.
Dang it, EJ.
And this is the US Open, guys. This just shows you the pressure on this pattern.
It's going to matter here.
It is.
When you get it a little bit wrong, it's disaster like that. And like Bill's 2 shots.
That's 8 the hard
Wow.
way. O'Neal needs 2 strikes.
I mean, he's still got a chance.
Again, Tackett had a chance. Going back to the second frame, if he makes the 3-6-10,
So O'Neal's on the right lane.
he would have moved on.
He hasn't got to go on that left lane again now in this match. So,
Minutes ago that could be the key.
but he
frame
still
to
needs to
find
find
that
2
key
strikes,
having
and
2 5-1s.
let's see what he can
off of that
produce.
lane. Must strike. All right.
Perfect.
How improbable is this? After 5-1, 5-1, back-to-back shots on the left lane, O'Neal 1 strike away from moving on.
And knocking out the defending champion.
So EJ couldn't get the double in the 10th to shut out O'Neal. O'Neal needs this one. Must have it to advance to match 2 to face Troup.
He stands up, he hates it, and he's not going to get it. The defending champion survives one of the
Well, he didn't like it.
wilder matches you're ever going to see in
He didn't like that shot.
television.
I mean, it made the pocket. It turned the corner,
By 3 pins over
but
Belmonte.
left the 10 pin. And
Bill will finish 5th. And EJ
I mean, O'Neal, unfortunately, he threw that one away.
next match.
1 open frame, I think he would have got away with it, what he would have done. But 2,
Well, you could see that ending coming. Not in the last 3 or 4 frames.
not this time, unfortunately, for O'Neal. And that's hard. That's a really, really hard
Of course, Anthony Simonsen.
pill to take there, because he was all over EJ, looking so good, and then just got completely lost on the left lane and made 2 really, really bad shots. So EJ is the winner of match 1, and EJ is the defending champion, obviously. So, I mean, let's see it. Can he run the ladder? But he's got his work cut out for him now to do so. But he's going to move on and face Troup. So I'll see you all at the start of match 2.
And Bill just couldn't quite get it done at the end.
And here we are, match 2. EJ Tackett starting us off on the left lane. I said at the very start that every match could be an absolute classic, and I feel like that one was. that was just, to me, classic US Open, low scoring, although it didn't look like it was going to be that low scoring, but suddenly just the opens and the nines just came into play. And both players had a chance, but it was EJ who prevailed on that one after O'Neill failed to double in the 10th. And EJ starts off with a high hit there. And now we see this man, Troup, looking to win his first ever US Open.
A beloved figure in the sport, tremendous personality.
Yeah, I talked to a lot of players that said the same thing about Kyle this week. They said, man, he was bowling as good as they've seen him bowling.
So let's see. It looks like, I'm trying to see what he's, virtual energy blackout. Looks like he's throwing. We'll be interested to see if urethane comes into play at all on this telecast. Because I seem to remember, particularly last year at the US Open, I can't remember exactly who was playing in all of the matches, but I do remember seeing quite a lot of urethane, and I think even some of the two-handers like Carl, I think he made the show last year at the US Open. They were using urethane, so I'm surprised that we've pretty much seen reactive so far. But let's see what happens as the lanes start to break down.
As well as Simonsen, we may even see a lot of lofting over the left gutter cap.
Ooh, just sort of rolled out there. You could see that ball reach the break point and just labour as it came back, which is why it left that kind of weak, well, almost a 7-10, but yeah, it didn't hit very hard, I have to say. But the spare's good. So this is what you've got to do. You've got to try and avoid any splits, just makeable spares, and just kind of grind your way through it.
It's a good stat to have when you're a right-hander, perfect on the 10 pins over 56 games.
Well, he says he's already missed his single pin for the year.
Ooh, 10 pin for EJ. Pretty nice shot.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I think so, EJ.
But again, that's all you can do. You can just put good shots down.
Players have to play this deep.
And I always remember the classic Pete Weber, who do you think you are? I am show. Because that was just all Pete did. He was just make the pocket. He was leaving a lot of 10s. He was leaving a lot of 10s, a lot of 9s, but he was just sparing them all. And just kind of, that was the focus. Just make the spares, move on, make a good shot. Because the nature of this pattern is that you are going to leave a lot of single pins. You just got to avoid any really, really low games. And if you can break that kind of 200 mark in these TV matches, you've got a chance, unless a guy happens to get really lined up. But on the chances are, the scoring pace is going to be fairly reasonable. So both players, and that was wide.
Yeah, and it wiggled. You got it too far to the right, as you see by our numbers right here. And the ball just picked up speed and hydroplaned.
So let's have a look at this shot again. Yeah, that little bit too wide. And again, all right, EJ.
Good 3 boards left.
That's the kind of shot he likes to play with that Venom shock. But to me, this is where urethane would come into play a little bit, because I feel like the players are already starting to go left and left and left. And they're going to run out of room eventually, unless they're going to start lofting it. I mean, we probably will see Belmonte playing that extreme loft. It's a shot he loves to play so often in the majors on TV. So don't be surprised if he starts playing that extreme loft. Good shot from Carl there. Looks really good on the right lane. Let's see what happens on the left after that sort of weak 10. But that was nothing wrong with that shot.
Oh, that's what threw me off. there was somebody with guppy glasses in front of him. There he is. Growing out the hair a little bit.
Guppy looks like he could have been like an ex-biker.
By the way, I asked him, because we've been talking about this so much.
So, Troup up by 14.
Like this, a step ladder like this. And he said, no way.
He likes it.
He should.
Yeah, really good shot there. Much better shot on the left lane.
Take advantage of an opening given to you by your opponent. You step up and you go bam, bam, right in your face. And that's a double for Kyle Troup after leaving a 10-pin in the second frame.
Yeah, it just read a lot better. Actually went even a little bit high, but
that's one of the easiest things to watch.
that was a nice shot. So, double for Troup to take the lead to 24 after 4 frames. Tackett in the 4th. Well, he sort of fell off that as if he didn't like it, but it did hold.
It's a win for fans and a win for football as the USFL and the XFL merger is official. United Football League will begin play March 30th with the USFL champion Birmingham Stallions.
So a decent start really for Troup, and EJ looked okay, just that one shot where he went light and left the split. So he's going back on that lane now. Let's see if he makes a little adjustment or if he just trusts it and tries to make a better shot. That looks, well, oh, that looked better. Certainly better shot.
Yeah, that would have been nice too, especially after the open in the third. EJ working on a strike. He could have doubled up.
But as long as he makes the spare. Yeah, which he does, so a little bit of frustration there for EJ, I feel.
He's got a lot of folks here. Of course, his wife Natalie is here with their beautiful son, who is probably the most popular person at the center this week. Young Trip.
So, Troup. Big couple of shots here to really, really take control of the match halfway through.
Oh,
I mean, that's okay. It wasn't as good as the previous shot. You could see it just, again, when it sort of almost, not rolls out, but it's not hitting the pocket right. You can just see. I mean, look, it's quite a light hit there. A little bit of a deflection, but it just didn't react quite the same as the previous shot. Still not a bad shot. But as I keep saying, this is the US Open pattern. You take your spares. You know that with the nature of the pattern, you're going to get shots like that where you don't carry. That's just how it is. So take the spare. He's still got a 23-pin lead. Because at this point, 23 pins, even if you just keep sparing, you're still forcing EJ to throw, 3 in a row to kind of get back in the match. So just got to keep putting these shots down. I think he's got a nice shot on both lanes. That needs to hold.
If you look to the left side of your screen, you saw the tension on Kyle's face when he threw that.
And that's what you can't do. You can't miss like that inside.
The price loses count because he was on a spare. And it's the first time he's left this all week long. 3, 6, 7, 10.
Fly that 3. Heck yeah.
Oh, what a shot.
How about
you? Yeah, that'll get him pumped up. That'll get the crowd going. That was a really, really crucial spare there.
I called it. I did too when I walked off. Was that EJ's mom that just gave him a high 10?
You know what? Kyle is so charismatic. You got to root for him even if you're trying to beat him.
Wow, what a shot. That was absolutely crucial to keep a 19-pin lead after halfway. Troup coming up nice and clutch there to keep the lead in the match. But we'll be back shortly for part 2 of this match.
Well, naturally, we support all the bowling centers around the United States that support this great game. But this place, 7 times a Royal Pin Woodland has hosted a U.S. Open. Valero, North Brunswick. There was a memorable one there, I seem to recall, in 2012. And also our friends in California and MSG in New York. And there's Jimmy Clapper and Terry Powell. This is their house, and they do a staggeringly wonderful job. For the players, for the spectators, we've had 2 sold-out days here. Cannot get in here. You cannot get a seat. There were people on our crew who tried to get tickets and could not.
All I know is when I rolled up 5 hours prior to the start of the telecast, they were already...
Right now, we're into the business end of match number 2. After Carl Troup made the fantastic conversion there, the 3-6-7-10.
Oh, EJ, don't wait for us, buddy.
Because that could have really, really opened the match up with an open frame.
Yeah, just an issue with people who are...
So the pressure's on Tackett here. He's got to find something.
EJ's cool about it. Two-time high average.
He's still sticking with the same ball from match 1. That was a better shot. Again, I feel like the players, you can just see they're kind of having to move left. And you're just relying on having that hold in the middle. But every time he's kind of put that shot there, it's gone high for a 4-pin.
A little bit. Let's go back to the 2023 U.S. Open because Royal Pin Woodland was your host.
So from an outside observer's point of view, I would say EJ probably should make a change. Not convinced about the ball, how it's looking. I feel like he's in a position now where he's come left, goes inside, going to leave a high 4-pin, puts it where he kind of needs to. He's leaving 10s. You like that? I know. I mean, that was close, but he's getting very frustrated now. You can just see he's just feels like it's not really going for him. But again, I think you've got to look at this ball here and look. It's a light hit, massive deflection. Could have got lucky and had that messenger, but I don't think it's the right ball. It's not looking right to me. But, you know, what's he change to? Does he go stronger? Does he go, I don't know. I don't know what he's got in his bag. I mean, but I think, depending on what Carl does here, but I think a change has to happen. But these guys know what they're doing. It's only an observer. It's just like you can see it when you're watching the ball. I'm just looking at the ball and how it's hitting the pins, and just doesn't look like it's hitting right. But Carl Troup looking to bounce back after a pretty bad shot. That was a nice shot. That was a nice shot, but obviously this big shot now on the left lane, after missing way inside, just needs to make sure he he doesn't kind of overcompensate. Easier said than done.
Hey, let's go down to Brent Spangler, the tour rep for EJ Tackett. And Brent, if you can hear Randy, what kind of advice are you giving EJ the next time he steps up in the 8th frame?
You know, what we talked about was
that guy looks like a Freddie Mercury has come to watch the game. Apparently that's a ball rep. Mr. Mercury.
Appreciate it, Brett. Thank you.
EJ's ball rep.
By the way, a great follow on social media is Brett.
Yeah, nice shot from Carl there.
I wonder, Kyle, since he's such a sorry, Randy, your hair's somewhat different.
That was pretty much perfect. And after that previous shot where he went through the nose, that was a really nice couple of shots to bounce back there. So it's kind of do or die now for EJ. He's basically got to strike out.
gets. But he's
So
also
let's see if he
very
does
good
decide to
at
make a
bringing
ball change.
himself
I'm not
back
sure if he
down.
will, but he's got to try and do something. Well, no, he's sticking with the same ball.
Yeah, you heard it, you saw it.
But that was a good shot. But again, to me, I'd need to see that again. But that looks like a little bit of a straighter angle.
Has yet
Let's
to
see.
double
Just
here
at
in game
his
two.
release point. I say straighter, like before, I felt he was just getting too far left and playing inside. And he just sort of changed his angle slightly, I feel, there. And just got it out a little bit more. The previous shot where he kept going high, just felt he was too far inside. So, but this is still pretty much a must-strike situation now. Yep, great shot. So he obviously felt that it was the right ball, which, and he just needs to make better shots. Just make a small change, perhaps.
In this sport, as you know, my friend, he has to get some help from Troup. Not sure
Because
that's
whatever
gonna
he did
happen.
there, those two shots, they just looked much better. Just the way the ball reacted. I think he has just made that slight change and actually getting the ball out a little bit more there. Because I say before, when he was playing that inside, it didn't look right because it was just either going high or it was just leaving tens, sort of hitting light. Oh, wow, that was a really nice shot. Thought he had that.
Well, this is getting very interesting. So we'll give Troup the spare. If he strikes spares in the 10th, he will shoot 214. That's exactly what E.J. Tackett can shoot if he strikes out.
So a spare from Troup there. 10th frame, 20 pins is the lead for Kyle. This is really still very close to call, but he can shut out EJ with 2 strikes here in the 10th.
Remember Kyle, 10th frame a year ago. Ended up needing a couple of strikes and big forward on the 2nd after a strike in the 1st. I doubt he's thinking about it now. But it was a bad memory. He can erase it or at least shove it way down the gutter right here.
No, inside all the way.
Well, EJ, you got a shot.
And this just shows you that it's such fine margins that at any point the match can just swing.
Last time up on this left lane, Troup did make a move. He moved a couple of boards left. But this time, gets it inside a target.
Half the big 4.
So now let's look at where we are with the scores, because you can 212.
Tackett would need a double and 9.
Yeah, so as Randy's just explaining, if he strikes, Tackett needs a double and 9 pins. So this is a big shot. This is a really big shot. He basically, well, he needs a strike really, because that puts that extra bit of pressure on that final shot.
And then 2 5-1 frames for Bill O'Neill and Tackett.
But even so,
3 pins.
Tackett, it's a lot of pressure because essentially he's got to strike out.
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, gets it. That was huge.
He's thrown it right back at EJ Tackett, and let's see what the defense
That was huge. Because if EJ gets the first 2, I mean, that fill shot, that just adds that extra bit of pressure, as I say, that he's got to make a good shot, basically.
Troup threw some great shots for 212.
But he's still going to have the first 2.
Great game to overcome an early open frame.
But just like the first game, EJ fighting, he's been fighting all the way and looked out of it at one point, but
He was into that shot. The
great
second
shot.
left his hand. There's one. He needs another one.
Carl, a little shake of the head there. I think he's fearing the worst, but this is still a little way to go in this one yet. I mean, this is
Has to have it.
We saw in the first match, EJ had the opportunity to shut out Bill O'Neill with the double. Failed to do so, but he's got the first one again here in the 10th frame.
Now he peeks up, but he's
Must
having
have
a
this
hard
one.
time right now, his dad. Gotta go. It's wide right.
Wow.
Kyle Troup has knocked out the defending champion.
Don't know what to say about that one.
Last year's
I wasn't expecting that at all.
Just a bad shot by EJ Tackett, your rating player of the year. He just whipped it and threw it dead right.
I mean, that does show you that
Disappointing
the
way
best in the world
to finish when he
make
had a
mistakes,
chance.
and they're so good under pressure, like 90% of the time. But there's just sometimes, you know, for whatever reason, just makes a bad shot, and that was just way, way right. But Carl Troup, really, really solid performance from him in that game, just taking care of the spares, and that split conversion was crucial. And he advances to face that man, the most majors in PBA history. But can he add another one today? Well, let's find out in match 3. And we're back, match 3. Carl Troup, the winner of the previous match, advancing to face Jason Belmonte. What a great match. Well, both matches were fantastic. I feel like this has really lived up to the hype so far, I would say. Okay, it's not been massively high scoring, but we knew that was going to be the case anyway. But I think all players have put in a really good performance. It's just been so tight each match. One shot really has just determined it, but that's how it is, and that's why we love the US Open. But this man, looking to add to his ridiculous amount of majors, throwing an IQ. And Carl Troup started us off with a strike, still sticking with the same ball, the virtual energy blackout.
Ooh, no. It's a quiet 10 for Belmo.
Well, that's something you don't see very often from two-handers, especially Jason Belmonte with a high rev rate, the flat 10. The 6-pin goes to the side.
Now, we're still seeing all reactive in this show so far, which is interesting. It's not really what I expected, to be honest. I thought there'd be some urethane in there.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Well, waiting around for his turn to bowl, waiting through
I don't know if I've ever seen that on TV from Belmo.
Really not even that close.
It wasn't close. He was
struggled with the approaches all week long, and he's missed a ton of spares this week.
very interesting. Just hearing Randy there saying that he's struggled with the approaches and he's missed lots of spares throughout the week in qualifying and match play, which is interesting. So obviously he's been having struggles this week for whatever reason, but a very unexpected miss there from Belmo. But he does come back with the strike. Not really what he wanted, but again, this is the problem. You are sitting around waiting to bowl, Troup's already had a game to get lined up, warmed up. But Belmo's way experienced enough to be able to deal with that. And that open frame, it won't phase him. That's gone now for him. As you can see, he's just come back and thrown a strike there. So that's gone now. So let's see how Carl Troup responds. Yep. Lovely shot there.
Speaking of deep, that was pretty deep in the pocket. Deep on the lane. You can see he's approaching fifth arrow. 24.7. Watch this. That looked like it went right over fifth arrow.
Yeah, lovely shot from Carl there for an opening double.
7 arrows on the lane. He still has some room.
Picking it out.
Oh, that hair, that's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, if Kyle ever wants to go incognito, he just doesn't blow up the hair. He just lets it go flat, and he can go anywhere.
Yep.
Nobody, once he blows it up, though, forget about it.
Can't walk through the airport looking like this. He will get mobbed.
Ooh, a little bit light there.
Spin away, unfortunately.
came way back.
Yeah, look at it right there coming back from that fourth board. Did you see the break point board? 4.1. It still gets
Yeah,
back to the
just a
pocket.
little bit wider there, but it did come back.
A
But
couple
just
more
that,
boards left
yeah, you can
from
see.
the
I mean,
last
that was
game, and look at that thing get back.
quite fortunate, I have to say, because that could have been something quite nasty. But he would take a spare, and the lead is 20 pins after his first 3 frames.
So Belmonte, who missed
But Belmo is working on a strike, so
on this lane,
still very, very early days here
see his
in this
record
match.
for this week.
Oh, wow, that was inside all the way.
And a big 4 for Belmo.
And it looked left all the way.
Yeah, that wasn't the best shot from Belmo, I have to say. Just
Big 4.
inside.
Once on television on the PBA Tour, that was way back when by Walter A. Williams Jr. just outside of Atlanta.
So not a good start for Belmo there. I mean, this is pretty unusual, you have to say, for him to
Pressures of the US
he doesn't look... I don't say he doesn't look right, but he just, I don't know, he's not got into any sort of flow, obviously, which is hard coming in cold, and suddenly he's finding himself 34 pins down. He needs to find something here just to get a little bit of momentum going, just find something, but yeah, okay, that was a bit of a better shot there on the left lane.
Remember last shot on the left lane where Kyle got it out to the fourth board down lane and still got it back to the pocket? That was an arrow inside of where Kyle's ball got back from.
So an early couple of open frames there for Belmonte, not really what he wanted, but as we've seen, and I know I keep saying it, but it almost doesn't matter in this telecast because it can literally switch, within a frame, it can just switch. And every match we've kind of seen a player jump out and think they're going to run away with it, and then they have an open, and then suddenly the other player strings a few, and yeah, and then suddenly we have a match again. So he is not out of it by any means, although Carl did put a very nice shot there, just managing to kick out the 10 pin.
You can compete in singles and optional doubles and team events. Even combine your scores with the pros. Enter today at pba.com/LBC tournament.
Now looking to make it double in the 5th. Yeah, nice shot.
Okay, and you can hear Kyle yelling over the crowd. He's so pumped up.
Yeah, getting that crowd pumped up on his side. Obviously a crowd favourite. But straight off his hand, that was nice.
Talk to tour rep for both Jason Belmonte and Kyle Troup. Tim
But
Mack,
Jason Belmonte straight up there, wasting no time.
What does he need to do to get back in this?
Yeah, listen, he's got to get the ball to the right, on the right lane. And if he gets it to the right
That
lane,
was a better shot. A little bit unlucky there. He got that out in the right place.
pretty easy for him. So if you don't figure out the right lane in a hurry, he's going to be in trouble. Kyle's got great ball reaction, real comfortable, and like Jason said, if he doesn't get it, if he lets Kyle get the momentum, it's going to be a problem. And Kyle has the momentum right now.
Well, he got both shot or 2 out of 3
So
shots.
as Tim Mack just said there, that right lane, he said he's just having some problems with, as you can see. Another 10 pin that he does spare this time.
Thanks, Tim Mack. Thank you.
Yeah, Belmo, a little sarcastic verbal pat on the back there after he made that 10 pin. He's in a hole partly of his own doing.
So 5 frames gone. Belmonte
Because of Kyle Troup.
looking okay on the left lane.
Lost to him when the
Be
hot
interesting to
lights are on.
see what happens when he steps up next on the right lane, whether he does make, I don't know, some sort of, maybe he makes a ball change, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he makes some change. He looks, yeah, I mean, he looks pretty good on the left lane. I think he struck every time on the left. I think he's definitely got 2 strikes on the left. But Kyle Troup has got the momentum. He's already won 1 match, obviously, and Belmonte's not really in it at this point, just simply because of the right lane, the struggles he's had.
And the PBA is proud to have Bowlers to Veterans Link as the official charity of the PBA Tour. In today's BVL Salute to Veterans, we welcome U.S. Navy E5 Petty Officer 2nd Class.
But this is now, really, it's kind of in Carl's hands at this point, because he's got such a big lead that if you can just continue to put this pressure on, well, very soon he's going to shut Belmonte out. So,
All right, well, Randy was eavesdropping on Jason Belmonte.
but this is where you kind of, you're just hoping you just keep making the pocket. If you leave a 9, that's fine. Spare it up and just keep that lead intact, because the last thing you want is an open frame, you know, like a 6-5 or 6 count where you're going to lose pins. You just want to keep it as clean as you can during the last 5 frames. Well, that was inside.
Snap left and a 3-6-10 now for Kyle.
Miss left.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of this missing left, because the players obviously know they can't miss right, so they're just naturally inclined to just put it a little bit inside. But it could have been worse.
Don't chop it.
Oh, nearly a little chop there, but nearly.
You have to pay the 3-6-10 respect.
But makes a spare. He's still got a 41 pin lead. So he's still in the driving seat, that's for sure.
3-6 and the ball, you know, kind of takes care of all 3 pins,
but again, just needs to keep it clean.
That leave, respect. Very easy to miss, very easy to chop. Kyle converts perfectly.
Kyle 10 titles and that 1 major. His first title going all the way back to 2015. Won the PBA Tour Finals last year in the state of Washington. Oh, that's the problem EJ Tackett had a few times with some 4 pins.
Remember the last shot he threw on that left lane?
Yeah, that actually looked quite similar to how EJ's ball was reacting when he got it in that spot. Look at that little spot inside, and it's a little bit high. But again, that's fine. Yeah, no panic on that one. That's fine. He makes the spare, which he does. A 40 pin lead after 7 frames. That's absolutely fine. Because the pressure is still on Belmonte. He essentially has to strike in the 7th and 8th to have any sort of chance.
7-time Chris Schenkel PBA Player of the Year, tied with Walter for the most all-time.
He's actually going to a virtual energy blackout, as you can see right there.
Yeah, and as we said, he is making a ball change. He's going to the same ball that Carl's throwing, the virtual energy blackout. Oh, wow. Well.
The right lane is not working for Jason.
Yeah, that right lane's not been his friend.
You know, they talked about
You can hear them actually talking in the background saying it was good. It was good. I think Tim Mack was saying, oh, it was good. So they, I mean, it didn't look too bad. It just didn't pick up.
Oh my. Oh my.
All but over now. Kyle Troup's going to bowl for the title once again, back-to-back years.
Yeah, and that is pretty much going to do it now. 58 pin deficit.
We want to take a moment
but I would say that he had to make a change there. It is a risk, don't get me wrong. But he had to make a change of some sort, because he, after that big 4, and he left a couple of 10 pins, it just wasn't looking right in the right lane. So I think it was a bit of a risk, but a risk he had to take, and unfortunately it hasn't worked out for him. But it was still a big ask with how Troup has been bowling. But in this match, he's been pretty much spot on throughout.
Last year it was EJ Tackett who beat him in the finals. This year he's going to get a shot.
Performance from Belmo, it's probably, I say, the most I've seen him struggle on TV for quite a while.
I know that it's difficult, you know, when you're coming on.
Even last year, and when he was on TV and he didn't end up winning, he was still right in it and bowling well. And say he hasn't bowled too badly, just because of that right lane, he's just never been in the match.
He knows if he moves in, he'll find a little oil. He knows how far right he can throw it. But Belmonte.
But we'll just watch the next couple of frames here from Kyle. Let's just see what he does. And yep, great shot. And that's going to do it. He's keep it on the lane in the 9th and 10th, which he will do, obviously. And Troup will advance to take on the 1 seed, Anthony Simonsen. This is going to be a really, really close match, I feel. I don't really know which way it's going to go. I always think that the person who comes in as the 1 seed has the disadvantage because they're just not warmed up. But Anthony Simonsen's been so good in the majors that, you know, he's a hard man to bet against. But another great shot from Troup there. He's looking really good. And if he continues this, he's going to be hard to beat. But a great, great match there from Troup. Bowled really, really well. Really solid game. But yeah, this one's that's going to be it for this one. So we're going to jump straight ahead into the title match. Troup taking on the 1 seed, Anthony Simonsen. And here we are, the title match. Great telecast so far, I feel. It's been some really, really fascinating matches. I've really enjoyed this one. Every match has been fairly close, apart from that last match. But yeah, Troup, 2 matches, 1. Now looking to take this one down for his first ever US Open win. And again, sticking with the same ball for an opening strike. So I'm interested to see what Anthony Simonsen's going to do here.
A 13-time PBA champion with 5 majors, the 2022 US Open champion, Anthony Simonsen.
So this guy breaking pretty much all the records for the youngest player to win, you know, X amount of majors. 27 years of age. Just been so dominant in the majors. So standing, wow, a lot further right than the other players. Everyone's been throwing reactive, but a lot of angle, just moving further left. But Simonsen opting to come a little bit straighter.
We have not seen the entire day.
We'll rule out him making this.
That was a little bit of an unfortunate break, I have to say. To leave that. I mean, it was a very, very light hit, obviously, but a little bit harsh, I felt there.
5 years age difference. Obviously, same with pros. Titles belong to Simonsen, and the majors belong to Simonsen as well. All right, so we got a little equipment issue here, Anthony. It's the second time I called you a player's name today, Randy.
You call me whatever you want.
So interesting here. So, oh wow.
Goodness.
Boy.
Yeah, so Simonsen using a gem on the right lane and an idle on the left lane. On the PBA Tour, this bowling ball here is not approved, but this is a USBC event, and therefore it is legal.
Wow. Right, let's break this down then. Sorry, I'm in a bit of shock there. That's leaving that after that. That's 2 pretty bad breaks in a row, you have to say. Okay, a light hit, a high hit, but for both of them to these splits, I felt was very harsh. So Simonsen going with the gem. Was it a magic gem, they say, I think, on the right lane? And he's gone with an idle on the left lane. So obviously that was his game plan. He feels that the 2 lanes are playing significantly different. Going with 2 different balls. So we'll see if that changes throughout the match. But 2 open frames, and Kyle already up 22 with a double. He's just locked in right now. And this is the benefit of being the 2, 3 or 4 seed, whatever. When you've had a match or 2 to get warmed up, he's lined up, he's stuck with that ball all day, looks happy with it.
Jason Belmonte winner of 15 majors would shoot 157.
And
I get it. They're hard. It is the U.S. Open.
you know,
I
Simonsen
understand that.
coming in as the 1 seed, it's so difficult. I say it all the time, but it is so difficult. And this is why I think they should have a 2-game title match or something, because a 1-game shootout after 56 games of match play, or sorry, qualification match play throughout the week, etc. And it's like all of it comes down to 1 game. And Simonsen, don't get me wrong, all of the guys that made the show obviously bowled really well, but Simonsen was at one point sort of head and shoulders above them, leading by quite a few pins at one point. He played so well throughout the week, and it's like this one match where he's had already a couple of bad breaks, but that's how it is. But I do feel they should probably do a slightly different format for the title match. But that was a good shot. Yeah, I like that shot. I think he's playing the right shot by moving out.
6-pin sidewall, snaps the 10 out.
Yeah, by sort of say moving out and playing a little bit straighter.
Exactly what Simonsen needs. He needs a lot more of those to get back into this, and it's only through 3 frames. There's his match play record, 18 and 6.
So sticking with that idol on the left.
Completely dominated this event.
Yeah, great shot. And this is the thing, right? It's taking him just 2 shots there, and he's made the adjustment on both lanes, and he struck. So, like, when you look at it, you go, that's fantastic, right? He's adapted, he's seen what the balls have done, and he's made the change, made the small adjustment. But the problem is, you don't have time. He's made 2, what I would call, well, I say mistakes. They were just, one of them, the first shot went light. The other one was a little bit harsh to leave the 4-9. Meanwhile, Troup sort of jumped ahead with the first 3 strikes, and Simonsen's not done too much wrong. Troup in the first match took him a little bit of time to get going. Oh, but 10-pin there. So, yeah, in an ideal world, I would love to see this either a 2-game total match or I don't know, just something to give that 1 seed that extra bit of a chance to kind of get warmed up, find the shot. But Kyle has stopped striking, so that's one small comfort for Simonsen.
And this being his 60th game.
That's right. Well, he told us again, for those of you who missed it earlier, he missed a single pin early in the year. I think it was at Wichita. He said, I'm done with it now. That's my miss for the year. Those were his words. It's my miss for the year. Got it out of the way.
Interesting stat there, 2 for 2 against TV finals against Anthony Simonsen. So, yeah, it's hard to call, really. But Kyle with the early advantage.
Just like, okay, buddy, give us some money. It's going to come out of your check. There's no deductions or any other rule problems. The PBA is different than Messenger dropping off right before
good shot.
contact.
And that's actually something we haven't seen. We've seen a lot of messengers kind of flying by, but they've not been falling.
Violation is 0. It's almost like a foul. You get 0 for the shot.
So that's quite interesting. It's typical of the US Open pattern. There's just a lot of 9s when you do make the pocket. And I think on another pattern, a lot of these messenger shots, well, they would have fallen.
I think it's a fantastic idea. The winner of this, by the way, is going to get $100,000. And if it's Kyle, that's going to be a very small bite on his wallet. But you know what? There's no guarantee it's Kyle. Very little difference now between these two after those 2.
So Simonsen now has a chance to get himself back into this match. Wow, that was such a nice shot.
He knows he didn't get the payout.
I mean, my first thoughts were it was a little bit inside off his hand, but it held. I mean, it looked a decent enough shot. Yeah, as we say, this pattern It's what we've seen all day on this telecast, a lot of 10-pins.
Was good enough to strike for Simo, and when he
But he
throws it
could have got
there,
away with that. I mean, I think he's been unlucky. I think those first two open frames, I think they were pretty harsh.
Halfway through the title match.
In the background, you saw Kyle.
They were halfway through. Simonsen down by 31 pins.
That's a pretty shot.
Yeah, good shot. Again, I'm going to go on about it, but it really, really annoys me because Simonsen hasn't done anything wrong here, and potentially, if things don't go his way, he's going to be really unlucky.
Just a half an inch right, a second arrow, and he's piping it. Again, an area of the lane we haven't seen any player attempt. Everybody's been kind of shaping it, arcing it, and Kyle's been doing it the best thus far today.
Quick reminder, this match is going without any commercial interruption.
Troup, good shot in the 6th.
Continues to split pins.
He's definitely got a lot more room in general now, I feel. Once he's making good shots, but he's got very comfortable.
All 5 majors.
You won here?
I won here in '99. You know, there's so many great people over the years. The late, great Jim Doty was responsible for so much of what went on here. And
now, this is quite a big shot for Carl because with 31, the lead. So this would really, really just add that pressure even more so on Simonsen. But Simonsen, he hasn't done a lot wrong. He's been quite unlucky so far. But another great shot from Kyle.
You know, we talked about Kyle finishing runner-up last year to E.J. Tackett. His father was the runner-up to Mark Roth in 1984 at the U.S. Open. Kyle would like to kind of undo that.
If this works out, maybe he'll give Dad a few minutes with the.
Pretty simple now for Simonsen. It's must strike.
He's a great guy.
Inside. Got away with it. Got away with that one.
You listen to some of the players this week when talking about Anthony Simonsen, and they're like, you know, he just does things that nobody else can do with a bowling ball. And it's incredible parts of the lane that he can play. He can throw it straight. He can throw it sideways. He can shape it. He can change his axis rotation. He can change his ball roll. He can change his tilt, speeds.
He can also throw a pretty mean backup ball. Messenger
wow.
Underneath.
Another Messenger heading over towards the 10-pin, but it still stands.
Well, with the exception of frame
So just a little bit light there, but again.
Both the 4 and the 9.
Oh dear.
And then
wow.
A 10-pin in the 5th, and then that.
And I'm afraid that's pretty much going to be it. Barring back-to-back open frames, but he's already in 30, 50, 79. Yeah, I mean, 44 pins after 7.
You got all 6.
Let me know when that happens, would you?
Oh, looked like he slipped there, but wow, got away with it. Got it in the right place still, even though he was a little bit unstable at the line.
Lead, 2 frames to go, all but over. Kyle Troup looking for his 2nd major.
And to be honest,
on the tour, there's his dad.
Fair play to Kyle Troup. I mean, he's come in, he's got better as the show has gone on. He's found his line. He's got comfortable. And even if Simonsen had struck, it still would have been a big, especially as Troup just threw a strike there in the 8th.
Guppy is the proud man right now.
Can he finish off in style? Oh, well.
Everyone around here doing the math.
Yeah, I'm just trying to do the math as well.
Well, Kyle, if he doesn't convert, still going to be in the 220s with 1 frame to go. It's all but mathematically over.
Yeah, okay, so pretty much it's over still, but... Well, that shows you as well how costly that... Yeah, it's over, 203. Yeah, it's over. He just needs a pin or 2 pins. But that shows you that 10 pin then was absolutely crucial, that if he'd spared that, it would have been in 55, you know, that would have given him a chance. But that is your winner of the 2024 US Open. And there's not really much to say about Carl Troup's performance, apart from it was just pretty outstanding throughout. Was just able to stand, to keep in that same place, same ball, making adjustments as he went, and took down some excellent matches. I mean, EJ Belmo and Anthony Simonsen. That is pretty good going to win his first ever US Open. But at the same time, good performance from Simonsen. Just didn't really go his way in this match. Didn't really help with the opening 2 open frames. But he'll be back before long. I'm sure we're going to see much more of both of these guys this season. Still got another couple of majors to go. And yeah, I'm sure we'll see Anthony Simonsen back.
And the step he will never forget is this one that his son took here today.
But we'll watch Carl Troup's final frame here as he just sees this one out. He's gonna. It's gonna be his second major of his career. Yeah, another great shot there.
He's gonna get the victory lap he deserves. 56 games of exhausting qualifying on 4 different patterns.
Well, what a week it's been. The most grueling bowling tournament around in the world, I would say, without a doubt. And this TV show was obviously hyped up because of the lineup. We haven't seen a lineup like this in years and years. And I think it definitely lived up to the hype. I really enjoyed this one. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you enjoyed my breakdown match by match. As I say, I was just watching this for the first time and doing it live, so to speak. And kind of breaking it down as I went. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this kind of longer format of video. And if you have enjoyed it and you'd like me to do this again for some other shows, just let me know in the comment section below. And as always, if you have enjoyed what you've seen today, I'd really appreciate it if you would just give me a little subscribe. And yeah, I mean, I will see you with a video very, very shortly. Once again, thank you all for watching. Great show. Really enjoyed this one. And I can't wait for the next tournament, which I think is actually next weekend. So lots more bowling to come. Cannot wait. As always, thank you, bowling fans, and see you all next time.